Hi and welcome to another edition of Onside SA. We've seen the World Cup come and go, and the French are the champions. They're worthy favourites, and I must defer to Budgie. Budgie, well done. Budgie put our bets together. All our bets were into France winning, and the other bets were into Croatia making the final. Well done, Budgie. It mapped out for you.
Well, that's how it worked out, Paul. It was ironic. When I jumped off Brazil, it was because they played Croatia at Anfield, not realising how good Croatia were.
Yes.
So,
bit lucky.
Bit lucky, but Paul, I think they had the least amount of weaknesses, France, and they won every knockout game. I know in the final they were a little bit poxy with the own goal and the dubious penalty, but I thought at the end of the day, deserved winners.
Just, we're trying to get Stevie B on the line. Our international pundit's back in London. He's supposed to be in the studio, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. So I'm trying to find out if we've got Stevie. We haven't got Stevie at the moment. Bear in mind, we're trying to get hold of him because the leagues are going to start soon. But just before I'll save this from it. Just tell me what's happening with the local football here now. There's an interdict.
Yeah, there's an interdict. Ajax, they lost because of the player was suspended. So now they're trying to get an interdict to stop the league from starting. So,
they've got a chance?
Well, you never know with the league, Paul. So more than likely FIFA will get involved or CAF will get involved, but I don't think they've got a leg to stand on.
When are they due to start? They start earlier, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's the 10th of August. So the fixtures are due at any time. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
That is interesting. Oh, but and if it happens, could they extend the league? Because I know the costs involved, but the money involved.
Yeah. So, when it's in the hands of the lawyers, Paul, who knows? But it's not, it should have been sorted out a while ago, but Ajax think they're innocent, so they weren't allowed to play in the playoffs, they're automatically relegated.
So this is going to have to go to urgent arbitration, I can see that.
The thing is, if they do get reinstated second loss, they're going to have to replay the playoffs.
Oh, so they might not even consider having another side of it.
That's...
Because the fixtures are drawn.
Well, they obviously want to let everybody know what they are, but until the interdict's sorted out, how can you start the league?
Yeah, but just another note, tonight is the launch of Clive Darker, the international coach's book called Coach. Looking at him, it should be called Couch, but we'll all be there. It'd be great to see all my football mates have phoned me and said they're going to come down. Great tribute to man, a book being written by Michael Marnowick, goes writing it for him.
Well, this book should have been, I think 2010 was when they originally wanted to launch it, but knowing Clive, he's not the most reliable, so, but we'll be there, Paul. Yeah,
we'll be there, be great. So those of you I know they had it in Joburg, and I believe it was a great success. They're going to be a great success tonight to talk to him. We're just checking up if we've got Stevie B on the line. Okay, while we keep trying to budge, we'll keep, because we need to find out what's happening in the world of transfers and Premier League. Do you want to go on to the Swedish League? Yeah, let's go on to the Swedish League because there's some interesting bets coming up, and you've been spot on with your punting, Budge. People following you are really going to get the money. Now, the Swedish League, I can't even pronounce the team's name. Never know their form.
Allsvenskan.
Allsvenskan. Now, I don't know if they've got them ready to show us their leagues, but let's have a look at the opening fixtures this week, Budge. And
it's Örebro versus Malmo now. Malmo are the champions. They've had a terrible season and a terrible away record, but the Champions League started. So it's amazing how these teams come right. So they progressed to the second qualifying round. Örebro at hard. I think there's goals in that. I wouldn't be taking 7 or 10 as much as they're the better team. But a draw in Malmo for me in that game, Paul.
Okay,
second game is Östersunds, our mate Steve Potter's uncle, Graham Potter, who's now gone to Swansea. They should be too good at home for Trelleborg. So Östersunds to me looks
4 to 10, eh?
Yeah, they're in the bets. We've got -1 the handicap. I think it was 12 to 10.
Okay.
Now Kalmar, I think they'll be too good for GIF Sundsvall, 8 to 10. Always hard to beat at home on their AstroTurf or the artificial surface. 8 to 10, Paul. That's also in our bets. ARK Stockholm, they're unbeaten in 25 league games. They played in the Europa League last night.
25?
25, they've only played, I think it's 12 this year.
Arsene Wenger training them.
Yep, they've won 8 and drawn 4, they're 12. They look absolute certainties. The team who buried us last week, Broma Pochkana, it was even money to win by more than 1 goal.
They murder away from home.
They've lost all 6 away from home. They got promoted. Olive Melberg, the Aston Villa centre-half, he was a coach. He jumped ship. So ARK Stockholm look absolute certainties,
All right, let's look at the next
Second page, Djurgårdens, I fancy them even money. Now, Häcken played in the Europa League last night. They played at home against a Latvian team. So this time of the year, you know, the money's crucial in the Europa League for these smaller teams. Yeah. I think Djurgården's going well at home. I think they'll be too good for Häcken. Now, Sirius, AFK Gothenburg, 2 teams that are struggling. While I think there's goals in this, I like the away team. I wouldn't be taking 13-10, but IF Bergen and Gothenburg, 20...
Gothenburg's last 5 games, Budge, away from home. They've only won 1.
They've only won 1, but they played the better teams in the league, though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. And Sirius, they beat Bromma-Pochkana last week. They hadn't won in 11, and they beat Promano. They cost us one of our bets. I couldn't believe it. But, you know, I think it'll be a close game, relegation match there, so draw a big player. Hammarby were going great. You know, they've had a poor last couple of games, but they should be too good for Dalkurd. 6-10 should be good things. And Norrköping, they signed a few players during the World Cup. You know, they're going well in the league. They think they'll win the league.
Yeah.
They're third in the league, not far behind the leaders, ARK, 7-10. It's a Monday night game. I think they'll be too good for Elfsborg.
All right, let's look at the MLS now. Yeah. I did see some footage of Rooney's team winning. They brought him on, and he must have played a game by then.
Yeah, well, this is his 2nd game.
Okay.
So it was ironic that they signed him because they launched their new stadium. They only played 2 home games. They won 3-1. They beat Vancouver.
And it's not a massive stadium.
No, 20,000 seater. I thought it would be a little bit
more. Like the Dell. But
Paul, yeah, Atlanta cost us one of our bets last week. We cruised through. They drew 1-1 at home against a lesser team. I couldn't believe it. And Seattle had a player sent off for half an hour. They couldn't beat them. So I've gone DC United. It's all 3 for me.
It's I think DC United, 11 though. 11.
But DC United, they've only played 3 home games, Paul. That's the reason why they're bottom of the league. They've taken 7 points from their 9. So I think they can get at least a draw. 4-1's a big player. It was 15-10 win and draw, Paul. But I think the draw's a player there. The second game, Seattle, they've done well the last 2 games. They've played the New York Red Bulls and the New York City. They've got 2 good results. So I think they'll be too good for a Vancouver team who don't travel too well. Yeah. Now, Philadelphia, LA Galaxy. Philadelphia played in the Cup last night and got beat. LA Galaxy beat the New England, Brad Friedel's team, your Tottenham goalkeeper. Yeah. I think we've gone for LA Galaxy to get a result. Win and draw worked out at even
27-10.
27-10. Yeah, the guys have Philadelphia at home, won 4, drawn 2 of the last 6. So, but for me, I'm going the Galaxy. You know, Philadelphia got beat. They had to travel across the country. So LA Galaxy for me on that one. Chicago, Toronto, 2 out-of-form teams. Yeah, the best bet will be over 2.5 goals, both teams to score. They both got far better forwards.
But why would you go for, that's a question that probably people are watching, why would you go for 2 out-of-form teams to score goals?
Well, desperation to get into the playoffs, Paul.
Okay, got you. They've got to go for it.
And they've got to go for it. And in America, you know what the Yanks are like? You know, they don't want to pay to watch a 0-0 game. No. They want to see action. So the managers are under pressure. Toronto won the MLS last year. Had the best player, the Italian boy Giovinco up front. They score goals, but obviously they concede them as well. And New York Red Bulls, obviously it's a local derby, Boston, New York. I think they'll be too good. They won 6 of the 8 home games, going well. Bradley Wright Phillips scoring goals for fun. They should beat New England, who played last night.
Bradley Wright Phillips, he's a brother to...
Yeah, he's the big strong boy up front was at West Ham,
Did he ever go to
He was at Man City.
That's right, he went to Man City.
Big strong centre forward,
okay, now how old would he be, Budge?
He'd be close on 30 now.
Pushing 30,
he's top boy over there in New York, going well
good
at home.
Player. Yeah,
they'll be too good for New England.
All right, let's have a look at Columbus.
Well, Columbus, Orlando City won their first game in 10 last week. Couldn't believe it. They beat another struggling team. But I can see Columbus cruising. Orlando got beaten the cup. Have to fly back across the country. Columbus at home, not going too bad. They should be too good for Orlando.
But what's the biggest turnouts they get?
Well, I think LA Galaxy is the top. They're the glory team.
They get 50,000 there?
I think they get in the 40s, depending on who they play. They're the glamour team.
Glamour team, You want to live in LA.
Yeah, well, you know, Zlatan's there now. He's back in form. So they signed the Beckhams and so on. Now, Houston won last night in the quarterfinal of the US Open Cup. Now, Dallas, obviously a local derby, Texas derby. I think Dallas win and draw here is a good bet, Paul. They worked out at even money. They're in our bets. You know, they don't concede many goals. And while it'll be a tight game, I think Dallas can get something out of that. So they're in our bets. Real Salt Lake have won 9 of their last 10 home games. They'll be too good for the Colorado Rapids team who's struggling. You know, Portland, Montreal. Now, Montreal, Jekyll and Hyde team. That's Remy Gard's team, the Arsenal manager. At home, they're almost unbeatable. Away from home, they're terrible. But Portland as well played in the cup last night. So there could be a sense of an upset there. but plenty of goals, because that's Portland. They're open gates. They have a full go. Now, the last game, Minnesota, who won last night, they beat New England 2-1 at home. They play Los Angeles, who are the team I'm going to back to win the competition. They've got Carlos Vela, the Mexican centre forward. You know, he's their main man. So this is a Monday night game. You know, they won last night in the Cup at home. So I think Los Angeles 11-10 is a good bet, Paul. It's a Monday night game, but still, they're in our bets.
Okay, they're in our bets. Well, that's it. You know, I'm getting a little bit more interested in this American football. You know, there's some of the top players are taking time out to go there.
Well, you know, if you've got a family, it's like Rooney, walks around Washington, no one knows who he is. And imagine him doing that in any other city in England. You know, get pestered to hell. So he's enjoying it. But let's hope the results go for them, because they're struggling at the moment. Obviously, that's because of their away record.
Talk about struggling. We're struggling to get Stevie B on the line. I know he's on his mobile. And we really want to speak to him, because there's changes coming out. I hope they're putting the international code in and let's get Stevie on the line. We need to speak to him. But Budge, we're going to move on to your bets first. We'll go there, because we'll probably get Stevie for last if we can. We must speak to him. Budge, let's go and have a look at your soccer sixes, please.
Well, you know, the Swiss league where Basel play in, you know, they won the league last year, but they played 3 friendlies. Wolves beat them 4-0. They lost all 3 friendlies. Now, St. Gallen finished 5th last year. They're in the Europa League. And I'm always a bit sceptical to banker teams, even though they do look good things. I think they're 5-10. So I've thrown the draw in with Basel and St. Gallen. DC United, I've taken the plunge and said I'm going DC United win and draw at 4-10 Atlanta. Now, Flamengo played last night. The Brazilian league has just restarted. They got beat by Sao Paulo at home in the 1st against 3rd. So it's a local derby with Botafogo. So I had to do it prior, before last night's results. So I've gone Flamengo win and draw at home against Botafogo. Columbus Crew should be too good for a poor Orlando City. Likewise, the next game, Sao Paulo Corinthians, is a local derby. So I've thrown the draw in there, Sao Paulo in the draw. And I think Portland Timbers win and draw. I don't see them getting beat against Montreal, 192.
Okay, let's look at the next one, Bud.
The second one is the American one, Paul. Yeah, I think Seattle will be too good for Vancouver. I've gone the field with Chicago and Toronto. I've banked the New York Red Bulls to beat New England. I've gone LA Galaxy win and draw at Philadelphia. I've gone the field in the Texas Derby between Houston and Dallas, and I've banked
the Texas Derby, eh?
The Lone Stars, they're known as the Real Salt Lake against Rapids. I've banked Real Salt Lake, $108.
All right, now we're looking at the 10s.
Yeah, on the 10, obviously you'd be stupid to leave out Atlanta when you're spending a couple of hundred. So I've gone the field with Atlanta, DC United. I've banked Seattle to beat Vancouver. I've gone the field with Chicago against Toronto. I've banked the New York Red Bulls to beat New England. I've gone Zlatan Ibrahimovic's LA Galaxy win and draw at Philadelphia. Second page, I've banked Columbus Crew to beat Orlando City. Sao Paulo win and draw against Corinthians. I've gone for Dallas. I had to go.
Sorry, Bud, I just want to go back to you. They throw in a Brazilian game?
Yeah. Well, there's 2 soccer 10s on the Saturday. One's got all the Scottish League Cup games, so they have to fill them up. So that's why. So we've got Sao Paulo win and draw against Corinthians. Some people may end up halving their permanent bankering Sao Paulo, but we've gone win and draw in the derby. I've gone Dallas win and draw at Houston. I've banked Real Salt Lake to beat Colorado, and I've gone Portland Timbers win and draw against Montreal, 288.
288. Okay, that's interesting. Then we got the big one, but these are howlers.
Well, they're tough, but if you don't try, well, what can we do?
Correct.
Paul, I've changed it this week. I found an extra banker. I've gone Kalmar to beat GIF Sonsville. I've gone Malmo win and draw at Orebro. I've banked Ostersons to beat Trelleborgs. I've gone the field with a Division 1 North game, Karlslunds versus Vasteras. I've gone Sandvikens win and draw at home against Raninga. I've banked BK forward to beat a struggling Skella FT. I've gone Eskilsmina win and draw at home against Skovda. The second page, I've gone Luns win and draw at home against Kristianstad. I've banked top of the league Mjolby to beat Angel Homes. I've gone Oskarshamns win and draw against Ljubljana. I've banked ARK to beat Bromma Pochkana. Djurgårdens to beat Häcken, and win and draw IFK Gothenburg at Sirius, 307 Rand. 307
Rand, okay. Okay, Budge, we'll go on to our bets, because I know most people have got the end of our show to
End of the show,
They won't get it this time.
Yeah.
Tell me about this quartet.
Yeah, I've gone Kalmar to win at home against GIF Sundsvall. I've gone Djurgårdens to beat Häcken. I've gone Norrköping to beat Elfsborg, and I've gone Hammarby to beat Dalkurd, and over 2.5 total goals. I think they'll win 3-0 comfortable, but has to be 3.5, 2.5 more, 3 goals or more, 2-6 to 200. Now the American MLS squad, I've gone Seattle Sounders to beat Vancouver. I've gone Columbus Crew to beat Orlando. I've gone the LA Galaxy to beat Philadelphia Union, and I've gone Los Angeles FC to beat Minnesota United on Monday.
But just talking about that MLS there, we got a situation here that there are 2 teams in LA?
Yes. LA Galaxy and Los Angeles FC, yeah.
LA Galaxy,
that's the premium team.
They're the Kaiser Chiefs?
Yeah, and obviously the other one's the Pirates. Yeah. But Los Angeles has signed a few players. Bob Bradley, the guy from Swansea, he's in charge.
He
Carlos Vela,
country,
the Mexican. Yeah, that's right, America for years, yeah.
So he's pulled a few players in, eh?
Yeah, well, Carlos Vela, they've got a few good players, Paul, yeah. They score a lot of goals too, so they'll be close in that conference.
All right, let's look at our win and draw quartet.
Yep, the win and draw quartet, I've gone DC United at Atlanta. I've gone LA Galaxy at Philadelphia. I've gone Dallas to get a good result against Houston. And I've gone AFK Gothenburg at Sirius, 11-1, 2,200 to 200. Now, the handicap quartet, all these teams must win by at least more than 1 goal.
More than 1 goal?
Yeah, so they can win 2-0, whatever. As long
as that's a tough one.
Well, Paul, they should all win, but I just think they'll be too good for the other teams, Paul. I've gone Östersunds to beat Trelleborg. I've gone ARK Stockholm to beat Bromma Pochkana. I think the New York Red Bulls will be too good for New England. Likewise, Columbus Crew, I think they'll be too good for Orlando
That's a
City.
hard bet to win.
It is, Paul, but when you look at the value...
One of the teams you haven't picked grabs a quick goal.
Well, New York Red Bulls cost us last week. They won 3-2. So that cost us the one. But anyway, Paul,
and then the last two?
Both teams to score. Yeah, I've gone Sirius AFK Gothenburg, Örebro Malmö, Kalmar GIF Sundsvall. I've gone Atlanta DC United, and Portland Montreal 2,400 to 200, and Collis King 6 on Exeter. I've gone Östersunds to beat Trelleborg. Yeah. I've gone Norrköping to beat Elfsborg, Hammarby to beat Dalkurd. I've done New York Red Bulls to beat New England, the Columbus Crew to beat Orlando City, and Real Salt Lake to beat Colorado Rapids 2,400 to 200.
Okie doke, Budge, that looks good, and it's been a very good kitty. Well done, Budge. Right, unfortunately we haven't been able to get hold of our international pundit, and we'll just have to talk about it, and if we get him in the next minute or two, we'll talk with him. But Budge, World Cup.
Yeah. Well, I think it was well run. The highlights of it was, I think VAR was a massive plus. I know there were a lot of shortcomings, but all the grabbing at corners. I don't know what Smalling at Man United is going to do, because he's going to have to take the saddle off the guy he's marking. Yeah, no, but,
I think it's a great thing. I don't mean to interrupt you, but there were times when the goal was given and he was found to be offside, and they changed it, and he was found to be onside, and they allowed it to stand. Those are great things. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, I don't mind you have a system where it's an opinion, and I'm just reflecting back on the World Cup final when you had Townsend and of course
Dwight
York having good arguments, but of different opinions, and that's what it's all about. Now, if he had been at the VAR at Townsend, he would have called it play on, you know, and the other guys would call penalty. But there's still 99 other cases they got right.
Well, the biggest one was the German backheel when they played South Korea. Yes. Remember, Kroos passed it back and the linesman flagged, and the South Korean scored. Yes. So they gave the offside, and they went to VAR, and it was proved it was a back pass. Now, could you imagine if the Germans had won that? They would have gone through to the knockout stages, and everybody would have been cursing and swearing.
Absolutely, so, it works.
Yeah, there were one or two things. Yeah, there was one last night. It was Colombia-Nigeria, where the Colombian made the tackle. I think it was your boy Sanchez. Yes. And the referee gave a penalty, and they went back and had a look, and it was a great tackle. It was on Mane, reversed the decision. You know, there were one or two questionable ones, but I think it was a blessing.
On the whole, you want the right decision.
And also, Paul, the grabbing in the box, that stopped.
Yeah, you've got to stop
that. After Nigeria, Croatia, the guy was all over, I think it was Mandzukic, you know, the Harry Kane issue.
The Harry Kane against Panama, that was, he had a saddle on his back, you know. But let's talk about Croatia. Let's look at the top 4 teams. England, done their country proud. Yeah. Belgium, brilliant third. Yeah. Croatia, their best result, and France win it again. Now, France had the players, had the team. And what's the story with Lloris? He's a Spurs boy, but I started noticing him making mistakes towards the end of our games at Wembley. I just think he's
you know, he cost them, Paul, 4-1, and it was celebration time. Just clear with your right foot.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem I find with football. There's not many two-footed players.
Yeah.
Just clear it anywhere with your, just kick it out.
Yes.
Trying to be clever.
Yeah.
Could have cost them.
Do you think John Terry would have buggered around like that? He would have hoofed it right on the other side.
If John Terry been there, the next cross thing, he would have taken that Lloris.
Yeah, that's right.
No, Paul, he made a mistake. It won't happen again, obviously.
But he's... I was impressed with them. I thought they played well. They got goals, and Croatia let them score a couple.
I felt for Croatia, Paul. You know, 3 extra time, 2 penalty shootouts, 1 day less to prepare. They give France an own goal, a dubious penalty. While I thought it was a penalty, it was dubious.
Yes.
And then they had to go for it, get caught on the break. You know, even Pogba's goal, he gets blocked and rebounds and he side foots it in.
Yeah.
Everything that could have gone wrong went. But I was proud of that team, Paul.
Yeah,
they never gave in.
Never gave. They played well.
Yeah.
Antoine Griezmann, man of the match.
Yeah, he had to be. You know, he played
gallops
well.
a bit, eh? He gallops, eh?
And the pressure on the penalty, Paul, must have been immense. Was it a 4 or 5 minute delay?
Yes.
Stood up, put him the wrong way.
Yeah.
I thought he played well.
Played well. And then Belgium, 3rd and 4th player. Belgium played very well. England tried to get the equaliser. I think when Dyer dinked it over the keeper, I thought,
his teammate clears it.
Yeah, his teammate clears it off the line. So well done to Belgium. They've got the players now. What's interesting is the World Cup awards. We just run through them quickly. Yeah. Luka Modric.
Well, I'm glad, Paul. He was the best player. And the other thing is, everyone praises Ronaldo and Messi, which is right. But they only play in one half of the pitch, Paul.
Yeah.
They don't come back. Modric is up and down. He gets tackled and marked every game. I thought he was a division above anything in the World Cup.
Yeah, he was outstanding.
Yeah.
Best player, 2nd, Eden Hazard.
Hazard, had a good competition,
player. And Griezmann.
I thought that was a bit harsh. I thought Kante was France's best player. He was everywhere.
Everywhere. He's a very good player too.
Yeah, good player, Paul. You know, he does the dirty work. He lets everybody else carry on.
Well, at least England got an award. Harry Kane got 6 goals. Well done to him. And then the best keeper went to the Chelsea boy.
You know, in the semi-final, he played great, Paul. You know, against Brazil, he had a good, played well in the quarterfinals. Good keeper, Courtois.
Best young player, Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, it was no-brainer, Paul.
Is he that good?
Yeah.
I don't know, he's very quick.
Quick, yeah. Well, we'll see, Paul. You know, now
time
everybody's...
will tell. Yeah, no one who knows how he plays. You know, don't give him the yard. But he's a teenager.
And in his defence, Paul, it wasn't like he had a centre forward of quality up front. He had Giroud.
Yeah.
And every time they knocked it up, while he fought hard, Giroud just didn't do anything.
Giroud was the first centre forward in the World Cup finals whose team have gone through to win it, who hasn't scored.
Yeah.
He didn't score one.
Didn't surprise me, Paul.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at Premiership news. This is where we needed Stevie.
Yep.
But now Maurizio Sarri's taken over at Chelsea.
Taken over from Napoli. Now, there's trouble in their camp there because I think half of them went out.
Why is that, Budge?
Well, I just think it's time to move on for some of them. Like
Hazard. Conte started the pre-season.
Yeah.
And then they moved him out, and he brought Zola in, eh?
Yeah, Zola, yeah. You know, it's one thing being an assistant, Paul. You know, you know, if I was Eden Hazard, now's his time to move. If he doesn't go now, I think he'll go backwards. You know, he's been a great player for Chelsea.
Great player.
It's time. Even the goalkeeper, Courtois, wants out.
Does he?
He wants to go to Real Madrid.
And do they need a keeper?
Well, they've got the Costa Rican guy who's thrown a few in, but they won 3 Champions Leagues. But
now Liverpool are getting determined. They've been buying some, I think, buying some quality.
Yeah.
But they've splashed out on a keeper.
67. Paul, it was one of those no-brainer situations where they have to replace, you know, Karius in goals or get another goalkeeper to replace him.
Mignolet's not up to it.
No, so 67 million's a lot of money.
Who are they selling?
Well, they've got to sell Mignolet. They'll get 20 million for him, so it's 45 million, not the end of the world. But they needed a goalkeeper. After their debacle in the Champions League, if they didn't sign a goalkeeper, there'd have been a riot in the COP. You know, they had to get a goalkeeper.
What's our boy Harry Maguire worth?
Well, he'd be worth about 50 million.
A good, very good centre-half.
Yeah. Well, United have talked. You know, we can move Smalling and Jones on and get him.
Play him with Bali.
Play him at the back with Bailly and I think Lindelof and maybe get one other. But, you know, we've got to get somebody. And he's English, so your Champions League quota.
Yeah, he's very, very good. Now, deadline day is...
the 9th. Yeah, it's the Thursday because Man United play Leicester on the 9th, Friday the 9th.
Friendly?
No, it's the league. The league starts on the 9th.
When's the Community Shield?
The week before. I think it's a Sunday 4. I think it's the 4th or the 5th. And that's the same weekend as the Championship starts. The Championship starts the first week in August.
Yeah, it would have been good to hear what Steve had to say about it. I know Well, unfortunately, we haven't been able to get hold of Stevie B, our international pundit. He would have given us a lot of updates on what's going on there. But next week we'll be right into the Premier League.
All the signings and all the championships. So there's a lot more news to come.
We'll have more news on Chelsea, who seem to be the least, well, the least settled, I should say.
Well, they've got William, they've got Kante. A lot of clubs are coming and looking for those guys because they're at the Champions League.
But what were you going to pay for them? You know, Abramovich's not going to let them go cheaply.
Well, you never know. But if the players want to go these days, Paul.
Yeah, that's the hard part. I just wonder what's going with Alderweireld at Spurs.
Well, there's a lot of rumours about Spurs, Paul. You know, about Alderweireld. You know, United apparently are in from PSG, want him. So
Good
you just
player.
don't know. The
Good player, classy player.
Oh, good player. Paul, you just don't know what newspaper to believe.
Yes, I know.
So you listen and...
I remember talking about newspapers, and you talk about fake news.
Yeah.
The British soccer pages that come up with anything.
Yeah.
I remember once they interviewed Alex Ferguson years ago about a Liverpool match, and he said something along the lines of years and years ago Liverpool were woeful, but today they played well, they were a very good side. You know what the headline was? Ferguson says Liverpool are woeful.
Yeah. Well,
complete out of context, you know. So you don't know what to believe. That's why Stevie's got his finger on the pulse. But that's it, Budge, for this week. Let's hope you can keep your run going with the bets. That's very, very good. And nothing more from your side?
No, Paul, just I think 2 weeks will be a little bit quiet. Obviously, the Swedish, American and Brazil keep us interested. But, you know...
But Budge, we'll have a situation where we can start building up to last one standing.
Yeah. You know, obviously, we've got to speak to the sponsor, see if he wants to do
we'll
it
get all
again.
that.
I think we'll start at the end of next month.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to start too early, Paul.
No.
A lot of guys don't know the players and teams.
No,
so
course,
end of the month, where people have got a little bit extra money and get it sorted out. So
it's cheap, 100 Rand an interest.
Already had several guys ask me again, but it's the sponsor, Paul. Once we can get the airfare sorted.
No, there's a couple of guys we're going to speak to. You know. All right,
Definitely.
Budge, thanks very much.
Pleasure.
And there we go. Make sure you stay on side.